joining the group and connecting with him more through this.
Right. Likewise as well. I'm trying
Yeah,
to get better in stocks and stock investing and everything. So
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, let's get our first 100K together, bro.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Hey, we gotta claim it. We gotta
Of
claim it.
course,
We
of
gotta
course.
claim it. So we'll
That's
hit
right,
we'll
y'all. That's right. See, I like that talk right there.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I finally got us on YouTube, y'all. It took me about 15 minutes longer than it should have,
Yeah,
but
took
it's
us a
all
little
good
bit.
now. It's all good. So, first of all, can y'all see me? Y'all can see
Yeah, I
me.
can see. We can yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so I got my laptop going and I got my phone going. So, y'all gonna see one without a camera, one with the camera. I'm gonna be sharing my screen on my laptop. But first, let's do some introductions. I know y'all were just talking for a little bit, but just for the
Yeah.
people watching, you know, tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you're calling in from, what your goals are for 2025 as far as financially, and how you found the Wealth Journey Collective and what value you're getting out of it so far.
Yeah, man. I guess I'll go first. Yeah, my name is Simon Robea. In terms of my goals for 2025, just living more frugally, saving more money, especially, and just paying off my credit cards, really a big thing. Since I moved out, I am calling in from California, by the way, and also making at least 200K per year. I'm making like 100K, so at least doubling that, living more frugally, and just investing more into the strategies that the Wealth Journey Collective is bringing in. So that's the kind of goals I've been thinking about.
Cool. Appreciate that, Simon.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Shahid Muhammad. I'm calling from Columbia, South Carolina. How I stumbled across the Wealth Journey Collective was on YouTube, and my 2025 goals are to be financial free, hit my first six figures, and also invest in my money wisely. So,
Cool.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, when y'all talk about investing, do y'all mainly look at stocks, crypto, anything in specific, or like what is your goal with that?
I would like to get better in stock investing and more knowledgeable in regards to crypto.
Okay. Well, you came to the right place, my friend. That's what this platform is all about. And just a little about me. I am from Greensboro, North Carolina. I came up with this group just because I thought about all the financial lessons that I wish somebody just a little older than me would have been able to teach me when it comes to investing, entrepreneurship, and just basic management of money. I felt like I really didn't have that, especially when I got started on my own. So that was really why I created this whole YouTube channel for financial success. But as I continued to make content, I found that there was a problem within some of the viewers. A lot of people just were only focusing on saving. And one day somebody broke the news to me that actually saving money ain't gonna get you wealthy. Pretty much saving money is a good place to start, but the wealth is in the investing. The wealth is in investing in not just stocks, crypto, real estate, blah, 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 but it's also investing in yourself and within your own knowledge so that you can bring forth more value to people, which then brings forth more money into your life. So I wanted to create this group and actually teach people the things that I had to learn the hard way and also show you in real time what I'm investing in, why I'm investing in it, as well as what those results look like. So throughout this entire stream, if you will, what I'm doing right now is I'm purely just sharing my insight, and I'm also managing the chat on YouTube and making sure I respond to everybody that's actually reaching out on YouTube, and also paying attention to you and Simon and what y'all ask and what your needs are. Because the thing is, there's definitely going to be a presentation with this. So usually the way these go is we'll start with Q&A from the people who are on the call, which are people in the Wealth Journey Collective. After those questions and answers happen, then I jump into a pretty brief presentation, but that usually brings forth more questions and answers. And then we usually wrap up after that. So, how does that sound, fellas?
That sounds cool.
Sounds good, man.
Cool, cool. So, what do y'all have any questions for me or anything to get started?
No
I've,
questions for me
okay.
now, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was about to say if you had questions, you could go ahead, but
right.
yeah.
Yeah, no question.
Um, so what is it called? Okay, in terms of the stock, I did come up with some. So you mentioned the two tech, two ETF strategy, for every single portfolio you recommended that. So I'm focusing on VTI and SPY for my Roth IRA for the ETFs, the indexes, and in terms of the two stocks, Nvidia and Microsoft. What do you think about that? Just focusing on those four for my Roth IRA.
I think that's an excellent strategy. Just for everybody watching, I did not come up with that. I recommend it because I thought it was a genius thing. I heard from a guy named Ian Dunlap. He was talking about it on this show called Earn Your Leisure, and it's something that I actually put within my own net worth. I don't do it for every single strategy, but for Roth IRA, something that's long term. I felt that it was the most secure yet highest growth option. So I went ahead and did like Apple, Microsoft, VO, and VTI. But with your allocation, that's fine too. Because the thing about NVIDIA is going to absolutely explode. Microsoft absolutely is going to explode. And when you look into certain investments, they actually correlate. So Microsoft and Nvidia, they both use AI, but you need those super powered chips to power things that Microsoft is going to be using within their business. And you need the technology that Microsoft is using. So, like, basically, what I'm saying is all these tech fields and tech companies, a lot of them really interconnect. And even with crypto, you'll see that Microsoft actually uses Ethereum, like the technology from Ethereum, which is a cryptocurrency, within their business as well. So when you look at it that way, everything is connected, and knowing what's connected to what can actually lead to you making better investment decisions. So I think that's a solid lineup, and I think it'll have really great returns over the long term for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like Nvidia is providing all the chips, the back end stuff, and Microsoft is the like the front end, like the technology and things like that. So those are the two companies I was mainly. I don't have them yet in my portfolio, but I'm thinking about, starting it. So if you say it's good, then I'm gonna go move forward with it throughout the year.
Yeah, I don't think it will hurt because that's actually Nvidia. That's the stock that I only put $2,500 in, but $15,000 came out of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and that was just I started investing in late 2021 in Nvidia, and it was just on and off. I was just kind of putting money into it. Then I saw the price go down. I started putting more in it, and then in the year of 2024, it just exploded. Like it went to 1,000 and something dollars. Then it did a stock split, and
Yeah.
it turned into $15,000. So that's crypto like returns right there. I didn't cash out or anything. I just keep holding because I think it's a really good company. It's supposed to get to 200 and something this year. So if you get in at the price right now, you could still get a relatively good return from it.
Got it. Sweet. Let's do it, man.
Cool, cool. Any more questions? Anything else you guys got?
That's it from me.
Okay, cool. Well, first I'm gonna see, does the chat have any questions or anything? I see we got somebody up here. I'm gonna wait for a second to see if we got any questions in the chat. Simon, are you on YouTube as well?
No, no, I'm not on YouTube. I'm actually
Okay,
just yeah,
gotcha.
with someone else.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put this in the chat. I'm gonna tell them to let me know if they have any questions. Then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna share my screen and go over this presentation for you guys.
Gotcha. Th this is recorded, right? This.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it, got it.
All right, gonna jump to this presentation. Go to my Zoom tab. All right. All right, let me know if y'all can see this.
It's dark right now, like a
Yeah.
dark screen.
Okay.
Okay, now I can see it. Now we can see it.
Perfect. Okay, it should load. All right. So y'all can see tips for financial success 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect, guys. Okay, cool. So I just want to take this time to share information that I really wish I knew at the beginning of the years from, I would say, probably 2018 and beyond, because knowing these things right at the beginning of the year when you have goals, these are things that can be the difference between you giving up on your financial goals early and not seeing them to fruition and actually becoming rich from the advice given. So, just a disclaimer, this is not legal financial advice. I cannot tell you what to do with your money. This is for informational purposes only. But I would say definitely keep these tips in mind and see, and just fact check them. Do your own research about these things, and I think you'll be very prosperous when it comes to your finances. And I'm looking forward to a very successful year of 2025. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into this. So I want to give some general tips for goal setting. Simon and I actually talked about this in our last live call that we had on the Wealth Journey Collective, which did not make it to YouTube. This was purely on the Wealth Journey Collective platform, but it's things like as simple as writing your goals down. And of course, it gets a little deeper than that. It turns into, okay, I've written my goals, but now what? And I want to encourage everyone to get specific about these goals because it's not about just writing feel good goals that are pretty much too good to be true. It's about writing down goals that you fully intend on reaching by the end of the year. So I'm going to give you some game changing tips that I feel like are going to significantly help you. So, of course, we have writing your goals down, but make them as actionable as possible. And I'll even share some of my goals for 2025 to make this make a little more sense to you just because I can give you this generic advice, but it wouldn't mean the same if I didn't show you what that looked like in action. So you want to also give yourself a deadline. For example, me, I want to buy one full Ethereum cryptocurrency. I want to buy one full Ethereum by the end of January 2025. That's a very actionable goal. And it's a bit of a scary goal because Ethereum's about expensive, but I know it's something that I could definitely do by the end of the month. It's am I going to commit to it? And by putting that deadline on it, it's going to definitely make sure that I commit to it because I put that date up there for a reason and it wasn't just to feel good about myself. It was actually there's a reason behind doing this, which I'll get into later. But anyway, the game changer when it comes to your goal setting is when you write down what your goal is, when you write down it in its most actionable form, and then you give yourself a deadline, you absolutely need to list what you're willing to give up to get there. That is one thing I wish I would have did last year because we can all have great savings goals. We all might want to buy a house, get a nicer car, or just have more money in the bank or more money in investments. But if you do not put what you're willing to give up to get there, you will do things that you will review at the end of the year and be like, man, if I didn't do this, I could have afforded to get those things I said I was going to do at the beginning of the year. And my example of that is last year I did a whole bunch of door dashing, and that led to a lot of lost investment opportunities. There was easily an average of $400 a month that could have went into investments, whether it was stocks or crypto, which could have given me great and very big results. But I chose comfort over that. But if I would have committed at the beginning of the year, like, hey, I'm going to miss out on DoorDash, which is a weird vice to have, but that's what mine is. And by choosing that comfort, that temporary comfort over my long term goals, I felt some of that impact, is what I'm getting at. So make sure you list what you're willing to give up. And then I wanted to let you know something. Stick to your plan and try to reach your goals as soon as possible. So if you have a plan to save $6,000, stick to that plan. But if you also see opportunities for you to reach that goal quicker, whether you got a bonus at work or you just came into some extra money that you weren't expecting, why not use some of that extra money to get to that $6,000 quicker? Because there's no rule that says we have to wait all year for these goals to happen. If you can make it happen within the first month of the year, I would say do what you can to make it happen, but do so wisely, right? You don't want to risk other goals just to reach another one. You want to reach all of the goals that you've listed, but you want to reach them sooner than later. You don't want to be in December upset at yourself for not reaching any of your goals. But you also don't want to get overzealous. And another game changer is review your goals regularly. Cannot stress that enough. It's way too easy for your goals to get away from you if you don't review them regularly. 2024 went by in a flash. I don't know how y'all feel about 2024, but to me, it went by super fast. And a lot of crazy stuff happened in 2024. So, knowing that, the years to come, we don't know if it's going to be slow, fast, or what. But I just want to remind y'all 2020, COVID, pandemic, was 5 years ago. Is that crazy or what? So, if you review your goals, like for me, I'm doing every week. If you review them on a weekly basis, I think that's a healthy enough time frame to really see how you're pacing yourself on your goals, and you can actually gauge how far or how close you are to your goals. So that's something to look at. And then lastly, be consistent and don't get distracted. There's a lot of noise out there, and there was a time where I was thinking about investing into Meta. Meta is also known as Facebook. That's what the parent company was previously called, was Facebook, but they changed it to Meta. Um, I was going to invest in it when they took a dip back in 2022, and they took a very big dip. But I had faith in the company. But there was a narrative going around that Facebook isn't going to make it. Basically, I followed the noise. I did not make that investment. And because I didn't make that investment, I missed out on some pretty big returns. But I can't blame that on the people making the narrative. I can only blame myself for not taking the action and believing in the thesis that I had about Meta, if that makes sense. So just be consistent. Like if at the beginning of the year you set out to save $6,000, or you wanted to buy a certain amount of stocks, or Nvidia, Microsoft, like Simon was saying, if you set out to do that at the beginning of the year, don't let any noise or anything in the background distract you, because at that point you've probably already done your research. You probably already understand what you're getting yourself into. So some random person on the internet, even myself, don't let them get in the way of you reaching your goals and reaching your financial potential. So before I go to the next slide, Simon, Shahid, do y'all have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Um, is it okay if we can like see what the outline is of like the goals? You did mention that.
Oh, you
Just
want
to
to know my
we
goals
could
real quick?
like yeah, just to have like a quick reference or something to look back on.
Yeah, no problem. I'll get that right now for you. Let me see. All right. So y'all can still hear and see me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you. We can see you.
Okay. So my first goal was the one that I already achieved last year, and it's max out my Roth IRA. But this time I put as soon as possible, which means if I get any extra money, whether it's from YouTube, whether it's from my book sales, Wealth Journey Collective, bonuses at work, whatever you could imagine, I'm going to front load a lot of that money into my Roth IRA, just because I've been looking at the history of its growth. And if I would have just put all $7,000 in January, it would have seen nothing but growth pretty much. Whereas dollar cost averaging it, yeah, I saw some great growth. Like, don't get me wrong, but you're going to see maximum growth if you front load that money earlier on. So that's what one of my goals are for the year 2025. Another one is buy one full Ethereum. I put ETH, but it means Ethereum,
Mhm.
by January 31st. And then I put buy $100 worth of Bitcoin every single month minimum. And I know that doesn't seem like a crazy big goal, but it's something I've never done before. And I also have to keep in mind that I have to max out my Roth IRA and do all these other things that I'm already doing, work on business growth, work on properly allocating my money when I get paid, and also buying $100 worth of Bitcoin every month. And the reason I want to do $100 worth of Bitcoin every month is because if I would have been doing that since 2018 or even since 2020, I would have seen a lot of growth. A lot of us get into the headspace of, well, Bitcoin is too expensive. Ethereum's too expensive. But if you just put a little money in at a time, you might just end up with the full coin. Or you might just end up seeing your investment triple or quadruple in value. So you don't have to have $100,000 to put into Bitcoin. You can put $100 in a month and watch it still grow. And it'll grow more aggressively than most stocks, than probably every single ETF. So I look at it in that way. So that's kind of the mindset behind my goals. Let's see another one. So this is a powerful one actually. So it's dedicate full bonuses to saving and or investing. Another thing I've never done before because my bonuses, they're like essentially extra paychecks on top of my other paychecks. So I noticed that sometimes I tend to splurge with that when I could have been saving or investing it. So for once this year, I'd like to dedicate that money to just either pocketing it or putting it towards investments that I believe in. Um, let's see. This list is a mix of a bunch of other things. I'm just going to focus on the financial ones. I
Gotcha.
want to at least double my net worth this year. At the time of this video, it's around 158,000. I want to double that net worth, and that doesn't seem like a very actionable goal. But when you consider all the other goals, like max my Roth IRA out and buy a full Ethereum this early on, those are going to be things that help me double my net worth because I'm going off of the thesis that perhaps Ethereum will triple in price. Perhaps my Roth IRA is going to grow a lot more because I put money into it early, so it's going to compound more. And my 401k is probably going to reach well over $100,000 this year. These are basic thoughts that I have, but if you ever see me have a goal that's kind of like not specific or not actionable, it's because all the other goals kind of back that up. Let's see.
Are you showing
Yeah,
something on
Yeah,
screen or?
yeah, because
no, I'm reading off of my phone,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't want to share this because this has some other personal stuff up
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
And then have get 100 members on Wealth Journey Collective and add value to them because I really want to see people win and get their first $100,000 and also just learn the basics of investing and feeling comfortable because investing is something that can change people's lives. I was talking in I think the first ever live call with the group, and I was just letting them know I have a group chat with my friends, like an investing group chat, and I've known them for like 3.5 years, and we've never spoken about investing until now. And now they're starting to see the impact of investing in their lives, and it's a really big deal. So the sooner we understand the power of investing, the better it's going to be. So that's a huge goal for me. And one last one I'll share with you is only DoorDash groceries. Like if I do use DoorDash, it ain't going to be for going out to eat. It's going to just be for groceries, which can be useful because I hate going to grocery stores and it takes a lot of time. I don't have time for that mess. So if I'm able to do that and buy myself more time to build my business and to focus on other financial goals, I think that's money well spent. So those are just some examples of what that looks like. So great question, Simon. I appreciate that.
Okay. Got it, man. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely. Any other question you had, Shahid?
no, no question.
All right. We'll get on to the next one then. So investing tips for 2025. Keep an open mind. And I say that very seriously because every year kind of starts off with a general consensus when it comes to a sentiment around investing. So, for example, 2025, people have really high hopes because of who's been elected and who's going to also be in office alongside with Trump and everything. And so, knowing that, everybody's pretty bullish on the stock market. They feel like it's going to just be flying basically for his entire term in office. Um, and there's also a pro crypto cabinet as well. So pro crypto president, pro crypto vice president, pro crypto everything. So they expect stocks and crypto to basically fly for the entire year. For me, I'm a little more realistic than that. I expect there to be some volatility just because the nature of how things have been for the last, we'll say, decade. Like I'm not really looking at necessarily who's in office. I'm just looking at how has the stock market been acting in the last 10 years. And so knowing that and knowing how it's been even in the last 5 years, it could be crazy. So I'll just say keep an open mind. If somebody's telling you the stock market's going to go up and it goes down, just don't be surprised. If somebody tells you we're about to have a recession and the stock market starts to just spike up, don't be surprised because anything can honestly happen. You have to look at what's really happening versus what people are saying. Like they're two different things sometimes. And sometimes it might line up, but don't let the narrative around what's happening dictate what you do with your money because that can lose you a lot of money as well. Um, dollar cost average into what you believe in. And dollar cost average, if you don't know what that means, it simply means to buy every month, buy on a consistent cadence because sometimes the price will go down and you'll be like, oh man, I can buy a bunch of these for the price of one. Or, for you'll buy one for 30% less than you normally would. But then the next month it might be up. Don't let the price dictate how much money you put in. Just commit to doing however much a month. Like for me, I just told y'all $100 worth of Bitcoin every month minimum. I'm not going to let Bitcoin going up or down affect me too much. Like I'm not going to say it's not going to affect me because I'm going to be like, oh, like if Bitcoin goes down to $70,000, I'm probably going to get really excited. But I have to control myself because I can't put all my money into Bitcoin and neglect all my other investment goals. So try to stick to the same thing. So at least with me, I gave myself $100 minimum. So if I go over that $100, hey, I'm exceeding my expectations. But I'm not gonna do $500 one month and then $100 another month. I'm gonna keep it between probably 100 to 200, just depending on how things are going. And if anything changes or if I come into some extra money, that's a different story. But hopefully that makes sense. Just keep dollar cost averaging. That's what I did with Nvidia. I never bought a bunch of Nvidia at once. I literally just bought one share at a time, and at the most, I bought four shares at a time until the price went down. I just kept buying and averaging down, and then boom, it went up to $15,000. So dollar cost average, guys, and then keep your investment safe. Don't get too risky. And here's what I mean by that. In the year of 2022, I was into crypto pretty heavy in 2022. I was buying up a bunch of Ethereum, some Bitcoin. I was buying a bunch of altcoins, not the meme coins, but a bunch of altcoins that coincide with like Ethereum and stuff. And these were things that I expected to do really, really well. But then there was a lot of hype around these things called NFTs. Y'all probably seen them, but they're basically these like images and artwork, and NFT stands for non-fungible tokens, but essentially all they were just pieces of art on the internet, and you buy them with Ethereum or Solana or whatever cryptocurrency that runs off of that network, and then you own them. And people think, oh well, I can just screenshot it, now I own it. Well, no, you don't, because it comes with a specific address that is very specific to you, and no one else can claim to have it. Like it's impossible. So I thought, oh man, this might be the new thing. And I spent a lot of Ethereum on quite a bit of NFTs, and the NFTs are completely worthless. And what I messed up on was the NFTs don't really they didn't really have any utility. Like you really couldn't do anything with it besides show that you own this digital picture, and that was literally it. So I did not take the advice that I'm giving you when I said keep my investment safe. That just means keep the same strategy, keep everything safe within what you're expecting from yourself and what you expect to put your money in. Don't just deviate from your whole strategy because you think this one new wave is going to come and make you a millionaire overnight. And in 2022, I got way overzealous and I did that and lost a bunch of Ethereum, which is why I have a whole goal of reaching a full Ethereum now because it's actually close to the price that it was back in 2022. So I'm looking at this as a second chance um, at getting to where my goal was in 2022. For crypto people, this year is supposed to be a bull cycle for crypto because we've just left a halving cycle from Bitcoin. Basically, not to get too technical, but Bitcoin, the supply gets cut in half every single time 4 years pass. So with every 4 year increment, the supply gets cut in half. So there can only be at the maximum of 21 million Bitcoin, and right now there's like 19 point something million. So in 2140, basically to give you perspective, it's going to take a while for it to stop being, a thing. But basically, all the circulating supply of Bitcoin right now is being cut in half every 4 years, and by 2140, there will be no more Bitcoins created. So supply and demand, basically, that's why Bitcoin's price keeps going up. That controls the entire crypto market, and basically in April 2024 was the last halving cycle, and Bitcoin has surged since then. So now I think we're going to see Ethereum and a bunch of other things, which is why I'm kind of in a rush to buy some Ethereum. Like literally after this call, I legit might buy some Ethereum, like a whole Ethereum. But anyway, after that, after the Bitcoin surges, Ethereum surges, then all the large cap surge, and then all the altcoins surge. And a lot of people make a lot of money in doing that. But you have to have a liquidation strategy. If you don't know what a liquidation strategy is, it's just having a strategy to cash out once certain coins hit certain prices. Because as we know, cryptocurrency is not as stable as stocks. And even for some people, they feel like stocks are unstable and they're too afraid to invest in stocks. And that's where I was too. But crypto is a whole different ball game. You get an opportunity once like every 4 years, you need to cash out because as soon as those prices go up, they can go down. Not so much for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but for all of the altcoins and things like that, they tend to come crashing down as soon as they hit the top. So I just wanted to give some perspective because a lot of people, even people who I've never heard talk about crypto before, are talking about how they're going to buy up a bunch of crypto this year. And I just want everybody to be aware. Crypto ain't like stocks. You can't just like for me, I will buy a bunch of stocks, hold on to them, and commit to them for at least 10 years. With crypto, may not be the best idea because some coins that people put their all into don't even exist anymore or went completely down to zero, and that's not a good look. So I want y'all to be safe with y'all's money. I want y'all to be secure with y'all's money. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to give y'all for the year 2025. Come into this year with an open mind when it comes to investing, when it comes to saving. And here's another thing. If your goal this year is purely to save money to get into a better spot financially, that is great and that is fine too. Don't let all this narrative about investing get you to the point of having extreme FOMO. Because sometimes before you can even start investing, you have to have your money right anyway. So that's the message I wanted to share with y'all today. I hope y'all have a prosperous and successful 2025. But it starts there. It starts with your goals and it starts with your planning. So now I'm just curious if we have any questions from either of you, and I'll also check the YouTube chat.
What platform do you use for like purchasing stocks?
I personally like to use Webull.
Webull.
Yeah. Have you heard of Webull?
I've heard of it. I have to look into it and
Okay.
definitely.
No, Reggie, is there a reason why like it's Webull and not any other platform like Robinhood? Is there a specific reason?
When I got into investing, it was like, well, when I got into investing in individual stocks, it was in 2020. And that was when weird stuff was going on with Robinhood, like with the GameStop stuff and people
Yeah.
freezing the accounts and stuff. So I heard a lot about Webull and I was like, well, this just seems like a cool platform. But ever since I got on it and started kind of playing with it, I was like, man, this is actually really educational. There's a lot of stuff up there that you can learn and do your research on with stocks that I haven't seen on other platforms. So that's kind of how I fell in love with Webull, so to speak. But that's the only reason why. Plus, I like the way that everything is notated on the platform. It's very easy and digestible to understand, I think.
Okay, got it.
Somebody in the chat asked, just question prior to investing, do they both have foundation set like emergency funds, etc.? I might have missed it. Sorry. And then someone else asked, what is my degree in? So good questions, both of you. So GWY, yes, I think you need to have foundation set. You definitely need to have some cash on hand in an emergency fund. I don't think you necessarily need to have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses before you start investing, just because at your job, for example, you have a 401k most likely, and you don't wait till you have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses to invest in that, right? And so I don't think you should do the same. I don't think you should do that either for building your Roth IRA or starting to invest in individual stocks. I do think you need to have a baseline number to hit. So for some people, like Dave Ramsey recommends $1,000 to start your emergency fund. I say try to do double that and then look at what you're comfortable with. You might want to have $5,000 before you're comfortable investing, but 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, I don't think people realize how long that takes to save. That could take you years. And if that whole time you didn't invest, you're actually losing money, in my opinion. And also based off of, calculations with investing. So hopefully that answers your question. There definitely needs to be some foundation in place, but I would say don't go too crazy with the foundation, because you could stay stuck in building your foundation for so long that you miss out on the opportunity that's sitting in front of you right now. And Alex Basak, I hope I said your name right, asked, what is my degree in? Industrial engineering technology. So absolutely nothing to do with finance, but I actually ironically learned about investing through that major, which is funny. So, you guys got anything else?
Nothing from me, man.
Cool, cool, cool. So, from both of you, I want to know, like, throughout this year 2025, what are some big things that you want to happen in your personal finance life that you feel that you could take away from the presentation? Like, what could you add from the presentation to your life to reach some of the bigger goals that you have financially for this year?
Well, one of my goals financially this year is to get rid of my consumer debt. So, my credit cards, I want to knock those out. And yeah, that's one of them.
Okay, that's a good one. That's definitely a good one.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I forgot to mention that actually. If you're going into this year with, credit card debt, those obviously have bigger interest rates. So I would say before you go like really commit to investing or doing anything that is risky, definitely wipe that out first, just because that interest can eat you alive versus, thinking you know what you're doing with investing and then potentially getting like a smaller return than you expect. So that's actually a good point. That's something that you can do right now, is set up a plan for exactly how you're going to tackle this debt and go from there. And then at what point you'll feel comfortable investing, if that makes sense. Let's see. Chat, do we have any more questions? Let's see how many people are on right now. Got 5 watching right now. How about you, Simon?
From the presentation, just doubling down on just investing into Bitcoin and these other cryptos. You did mention how that's going to be big, so just focusing not heavily on it, but just having that on the side more often than last year is definitely key.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject because on one side, every crypto millionaire that you've probably ever heard of put like 10,000 at a time into crypto. but it might have been like their all. Like they might not have been exposed to stocks whatsoever.
Mm.
Whereas me, I'm big on stocks, and it's easy to look at a percentage like, oh, this had a 200% increase and blah blah blah. This person made all this money. But the thing is, the more money that you have in stocks, you know, the less it has to go up for it to be a lot of money. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have $36,000 in stocks and your portfolio goes up by like 2.8%. Well, that's you done earned, or your asset value, I should say, has earned $700 in a day. So if you wanted to cash out $700 right then, cool. But you would have to get like a bigger return, like a much bigger return on crypto if it's less money in there. So there's multiple ways to look at it, but yeah, I mean, I can't really put a percentage to it, but I would say if you were to be the most financially responsible, you would put a smaller percentage into crypto than like stocks,
Right,
and
right.
a
Yeah.
a big difference between, you know what I mean? So I just don't want anybody watching this to get the wrong idea and start thinking, oh, well, I need to go all in on crypto. This is going to be a bull cycle. Look, I've never personally invested and cashed out during a bull cycle of crypto. I didn't even know the last few bull cycles, you know what I'm saying, were happening when they were happening. I didn't find out till after, and that's the problem. People on the internet don't start talking about crypto until it's just about too late to get into crypto. Then the prices start going down, and then you have to wait like another 4 years. I don't want to do that to anybody. So yeah, I'm predominantly I am a stocks guy for sure. Somebody said something. I agree with your invest and build emergency funds simultaneously. How about strategies for getting out of high interest debt, or does same apply? Invest and pay off debt same time. If it were student loans, which is low interest rate debt, I would say do them at the same time. But if you have high, and I call this life threatening debt because the interest rate is ridiculously high, I would say maybe take a break from investing right now and get your money right and pay down those interest rates with a lot of aggression, because if you're not more aggressive than that interest rate's going to take you out. That's how I look at it. So, um, yeah, and it also depends on how much debt it is too. And there's the avalanche method and the snowball method. I always say that the avalanche method is better, just because mathematically speaking, you will get your debt paid off way quicker with the avalanche method. So hopefully that answers your question, GWY. Also, if y'all good fellas and, well, ladies and gentlemen in the chat have any questions or want to know more insight, whether it's market insights, how I'm making my investments, or just general strategies of how to save money better, or if you want access to all my spreadsheets, consider joining Wealth Journey Collective. I'll put that link in the description. What would you define a high interest rate? 7%? I mean, that's not great, but it's not, I would say double digits. Like credit card debt, usually I see 17% with that. That's high, and that compounds. So I don't like that. 7% isn't terrible, but it's not great either. Ramon, yeah, Ramon V73 says, I'm looking to move out by the end of spring slash early summer this year. Would you recommend 3 months or 6 months worth of savings before moving out? I've spent all of 2024 slowly purchasing household items. Hey, that's actually really smart. I don't think I've heard of too many people who have done that. So that's actually really cool. So shout out to you for making that wise decision to go ahead and start, because you pretty much got your mind made up that you're going to be out of there. 3 to 6 months. The economy is a little interesting nowadays. So if you can do 6 months, that's great. It's probably going to be easier for you to do while you're at your parents' house. But the number that I usually give out for how much to save before moving out is 20 grand. 20 grand, 25 grand. I think that'll be perfectly fine for you. Um, I like the snowball, not smarter mathematically, but the quick win is motivating. That's what Ann T said. That's true. I mean, and the thing is, there's no judgment here. So if it's easier for you to pay off debt by using the snowball method because it's psychologically easier, I definitely understand that too. Whatever it takes for you to get out of debt. But the thing is, that's if we're talking about credit card debt and higher interest debt. If we're talking about student loans, I mean, it's gonna take a while to pay off anyway. Like honestly, credit cards typically can get wiped out quicker because they're not like 36K plus. It's like 5,000 at the most. Some people do a little more, but I just think it takes less time if you're aggressive about it. Somebody said, okay, Ramon V73 said, always appreciate the knowledge. Thanks. GWY says, thoughts on behavior slash human psychology and finance, especially considering Avalanche Snowball? Well, the thing is, that's a good question. The thing is, for me, psychologically, it takes a long time to get out of certain types of debt anyway. And so if you have a snowball method where you can see your progress, that's cool. But if I know that both are going to take a while, and I know the avalanche method is quicker, whether or not I'm motivated, I psychologically know that it's quicker. So for me, but the thing is, you have different temperaments and different logic with people. So I'm more of a logical person than I am like an emotional person. So that's how I am. But everybody's different. So someone who has more of like I guess I hate to use the word emotional, but someone who has stronger emotional ties to money, they might feel better using the snowball method, and that's perfectly fine too. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just know that it's going to take you longer to pay off debt. You'll see the progress easier, but it'll still take you longer, which in my opinion, I don't like that. I just like to get things done in the quickest way possible, regardless of what that journey looks like. Let's see. Angelica says, "Do we have to save 20K to 25K to move out?" You don't have to, but it's the smart thing to do, in my opinion. And then Angelica also says, "I've been purchasing household stuff too. Just joined, but didn't hear your answer." Okay, well that's cool. I'll go ahead and repeat myself. So Angelica, what I was letting who was it that I was? Oh, it was Ramon V73. So I was just letting them know 20 to 25K is good, and you don't have to, but it's just knowing the nature of the economy and knowing the struggles that happen and knowing things that happen in 2020 and 2022. I think it's best to have you a nice cash reserve, especially if you're living with your parents right now. It's the easiest it'll ever be to save money. So I say go for the 20 to 25 if you can. If you have to do less, I would say go no less than 15K. That's just my opinion though, because there's a lot of unforeseen expenses. Even though you got stuff on the side for household items, there's still going to be unforeseen expenses that you don't expect to happen because life is just like that. And you never know, you might end up having family members asking you for money. You never know. Somebody could get sick, or you might just need a last minute expense, or you might need to get your tires changed. And you don't want to cut into your emergency fund in that way. You want to use that for legitimate emergencies that you feel like you can put your money in. I don't consider replacing your tires an emergency. That's why I say that. But you don't want to reach into that for pretty much any reason. It's called an emergency fund, but you don't really want to touch it. You just want it to be there for security because you never know what might happen. Um, Ramon says, I set a personal goal to have $10,000 saved before moving out, or at least 3 to 6 months rent saved. I'll keep going to get to that 20K. Yeah, I would say just keep going because you already done did 10K, so you done proved to yourself that you can do 10K. So there's probably ways you can find to actually get there quicker than you usually would than you did last time. And if you can get there quicker this time around, I mean, you're gonna get to 20K pretty quick. Good questions, everybody. I appreciate the engagement. Shahid, did you have anything?
Oh no, no, no
Okay,
question.
cool. But yeah, y'all, this is cool. Usually my live calls go for about an hour. We've been on for about an hour and 5 minutes now. We were actually on before we got on the YouTube because I had some technical difficulties. But this is what it is like to be on the Wealth Journey Collective. So I would say consider joining Wealth Journey Collective. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to put the link over here in the chat so y'all can access it. And if it's y'all's thing, then go ahead and join. But y'all are going to get access to questions and answers just like this, and you'll get insights as far as wealth building, building your first $100,000, moving out, whatever question it is that you have. The sky is honestly the limit, and the group is purely to get everybody to a point where they're doing great financially as a collective group. So I just put the link there in the chat. So if y'all want to interact with that, feel free to check out the link to Wealth Journey Collective. So I'm actually about to close this out, but I want to see if we have any last minute questions before we do. And if while I'm waiting on the chat, Shahid, do you have any like takeaways or anything that you want to talk about in our next call? The next call won't be on YouTube, but I'm just
Okay.
curious, do you have anything for me for the next call that you'd like me to cover?
Um, Not really. I was just well, once I get off the call, I'm gonna check out Webull, the Webull app, and get knowledgeable on that so I can jump in to investing on that. But that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, I'll tell you what I can do for you. So I have a Webull link that if you end up doing research on Webull and you end up wanting to use Webull, I can send you my Webull link. And basically, if you get your account through that link, they'll actually send you free stocks. And you could get Apple, Microsoft. I don't know. It's completely random. But some people who have signed in through my link have gotten like some of the better stocks. So if that's something you're interested in, I could definitely send you my link. So you start
Yeah,
off pretty strong.
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
All right. I'll make sure to do that right after this call then.
Okay.
And he says 4 months needed to save before moving out. That's not bad at all. 1 month broker fee, 2 months first and last to landlord, 1 month cushion. Yeah. That hey, 4 months will go by so fast. The whole year of 2024 went by so fast. So I'm really in the point where I'm like, man, life is going by quick around here. So, yeah, that 4 months will not be forever. It may not be fun, but once it does go by, you'll probably appreciate it even more once you get on out of there. All right, y'all. Anything else? If we don't have anything else, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. This has been a successful call, and I appreciate all the engagement. Make sure y'all like this video, share this video, and leave a comment. Let me know what your takeaways were from this video. And I want y'all all to have a financially successful, spiritually successful, health wise, spiritually, mentally, all that stuff. I want y'all to have a successful 2025 in general. But of course, this channel is about personal finances, so that's where I would consider myself to have some expertise in. So when it comes to moving out, saving money, investing money, I'm your guy. So tap into the Wealth Journey Collective if that's something you're into. If not, just keep watching this channel. I still post every single week, and I still want to add value to every single one of you. Shahid, has been great having you on. This video is recorded, so this will be available also on Wealth Journey Collective later on today once it gets rendered on the Zoom website.
Okay. Cool.
All right, it's been real, everybody. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to go ahead and log off. Y'all have a great rest of your Saturday. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. I'll send you that link over, Shahid.
Okay, appreciate that, Reggie.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Thank you, you too.
All right. Thank you. Bye.